virtual iftar. MashaAllah.
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We'll just give, inshallah, 30 seconds or so for anybody who wants to join, inshallah.
What is that?
Sorry, Sheikh?
I'm hearing a loud noise. I don't know if it's yours or what it is. It's in my headset.
Yeah, maybe.
MashaAllah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Virtual Masjid Al-Farooq once again. Alhamdulillah, we have with us our guest speaker for tonight again, Sheikh Malik Clare. For those of you who don't know him, Sheikh Malik Clare was born without sight, accepted Islam in 1996, alhamdulillah, and studied Islam under those circumstances, and alhamdulillah, he continues to do so from that day. So the Sheikh has a topic today entitled Hasten to the Forgiveness of Allah. Once again, Hasten to the Forgiveness of Allah by Sheikh Malik Clare. So I'll turn it over to the Sheikh. Jazakum khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
جزاكم الله خيرا محمد. الله يرضى عليكم إن شاء الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الرحمن والسلام عليه. قال الله تعالى في القرآن العظيم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى أيضا يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We start as usual and as always by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him, we seek His forgiveness, and we seek His assistance. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil that might reside within our own selves and from the bad consequences of our own deeds. Whomsoever Allah has guided, there is no one who could lead that person astray. And whomsoever Allah has left due to their own desire to be left, none can guide them after Allah has abandoned them. We bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship besides Allah. He is wahda, He is unique in His oneness. He is completely one and unique in His oneness. He is complete in His perfection and incomparable to His creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. We further bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His last and final messenger, a messenger in a long line of messengers, beginning with Adam, ending with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I wanted to, because we used to live in a world where everyone rushed everywhere. SubhanAllah. If you say it that way, it seems like 20 years or something in the future. But little did we know that the world would change and we would be forced to grind to a screeching halt, as it were. But we used to see people rushing here and there, everywhere. In the morning, you're rushing out of your bed in order to get ready. So you rush to do that. You rush in the shower. You rush brushing your teeth. You rush putting your clothes on, you rush, you try to make your salat, you kind of rush through that a little bit. You rush to eat breakfast, you rush, and you get into your car so that you can rush through the traffic. And it's funny because you're not rushing anywhere most of the time. You're just sitting on the DVP or the Gardner or wherever it is you might be in the world. You're sitting on the train, or you're sitting in your car, and you wish you were rushing at that point, but everyone is halted because we're all rushing. SubhanAllah. And this is how our lives were. And this is how they were every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Rush to go somewhere. Rush because you got to finish before lunch and you don't want to miss your lunch. You rush to go get something to eat, and then you rush to that, and you rush home again. And everything is rushing. Muhammad ﷺ said to us, Al-ajal min ash-shaytan. To rush is from shaitan, but our life was basically a rushed life. Everything. And you go home, you rush to make dinner, and you rush to get the kids ready to go to bed, and you rush into your sleep so you could sit there and think about all the things you didn't do because you did so much rushing through the whole day. Well, alhamdulillah, we are in the last 10 days of Ramadan right now. And there's something that is still available to us. And it's not about rushing necessarily, but it's about hastening. Because we're not supposed to rush to do anything in Islam like that. We're supposed to hasten, but rushing, you end up making 1,000 mistakes, and you end up with a lot of stress, as we have. You end up with a lot of anxiety because you're afraid that if you're rushing, someone else might be rushing a little bit faster than you, and they might get ahead of you. Or you might be rushing and you might be the only one rushing. You have anxiety about that. So the whole thing for us was one big running track meet, if you want to call it that way. Alhamdulillah. But we're told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. To obey Allah and His Messenger, that we might be shown mercy. And since this is the month of mercy, and it's the beginning of these ayat in Surah Al Imran, beginning with ayah number 130, if I'm correct in my memory. To obey Allah and His Messenger, that we might be shown mercy. And Allah has said to us, and we say in the Khutbah al-Hajjah, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. Whosoever has obeyed Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, has achieved the highest success that one could possibly hope to achieve. So this is what we want to instill in ourselves, especially in these last 10 days, because this is the last third of this incredible month that we spent, most of us, in isolation. And I can speak for myself and say that this is has been the best Ramadan that I've had in years, maybe more than a decade, I would say. The best, mashallah, maybe of all of my Ramadans in the past 25 years, 24 years. This is my 24th Ramadan right now. This could actually be the best one for me. Because I didn't have to rush. I didn't have to get up at 3 a.m. and try to grab something to eat, and rush to the Uber, and rush to the airport, and rush through security, and rush through all these different places, so that I end up in cities where I don't know. And this has happened to me before, not in Ramadan, but it's happened to me, where I was rushing so badly that I actually forgot what day it was and had an argument with a brother over the day of the week because I was rushing so much. So alhamdulillah, this is actually a huge blessing for me, and I'm very grateful that this Ramadan took place. And I know it has affected a lot of people, but me personally, it has been the best Ramadan that I've probably ever had, alhamdulillah. But Allah has told us to hasten, وَسَارِعُوا. So we rush towards everything else, yet we kind of drag our feet on this point, don't we? If you think about us, and I don't want to think about you to think about us as a group of people, because we always tend to do that. Oh, the Muslims are doing A, B, and C, and the Muslims are doing X, Y, and Z. And you forget that you're actually one of the Muslims. I want us to look at ourselves individually, you as a person. وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. If it is that we're rushing through the day and we're rushing to do all these different things, are we not actually dragging our feet when it comes to this? When it comes to this idea of hastening towards what? Are you hastening towards a good career, which is not bad necessarily? Are you hastening towards getting your degree, which also isn't bad necessarily if it's done right and you're doing something like that, mashallah. So I'm not saying you should leave all of that, but shouldn't we not be a bit more concerned with what? With the forgiveness of Allah. وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. The forgiveness of your Lord. You know, when people make blunders now on social media and on different platforms and stuff, like, alhamdulillah, one of the things I'm really grateful for is, as a speaker, my early speeches are not recorded as far as I'm aware. So a lot of the mistakes that we've made early, and we still make them, trust and believe, but the early mistakes that we've made, a lot of them are lost to the public, and we have to actually ask Allah to forgive us for them. But now we are living in a time when people's mistakes are public, all of them, pretty much. Like someone will slip up on a lecture and the whole world will be buzzing about that lecture. Whereas before, you just hit delete, ask Allah to forgive you, apologize to the people, and leave. Now it's not like that. Now you have to rush so that the people will forgive you. And you see people making apologies and writing big long letters and posting things and trying to retract what they said. And I mean, mashallah, if they're sincere, may Allah accept their apologies from them. But this is something that we should be doing. Do we do this with Allah when we blunder? When we make a mistake with Allah, do we not care, or do we try our best to fix it and say, you know what, Allah, tomorrow I'm going to be better, or later on today I'm going to try and do something to erase that? Are we conscious of that? Do we take that into account? Because the acts of let's say, reparation that we are involved in when it comes to the people are good, because if you wrong the people, you have to make that up to them. But do we take this into account when we're wronging Allah and when we're doing things against what Allah and His Messenger have ordained for us? Because again, the first ayah, what I mentioned, to obey Allah and His Messenger that you might be shown mercy, is the doorway of mercy. Obeying Allah and His Messenger is one of the huge, tremendous doorways of mercy. And then Allah goes on to say, to rush to what? To the forgiveness of the people, to the forgiveness of your best friends, to the forgiveness of your spouse, to the forgiveness of your children, which may Allah allow all of our best friends and spouses and children to forgive our shortcomings. But rush to the maghfirah of Allah, your Lord, Rabbikum, your Lord. Not وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّنَا, of our Lord, of مِّن رَبِّهِمْ, their Lord. Right? Allah is saying, مِّن رَبِّكُمْ, your Lord. You, Allah is your Jalla wa ala, talking about Himself and describing Himself as your Lord. This is incredible when you think about that. That this is Allah speaking to you and deciding to talk to you and referring to Himself as yours, your Lord, that Allah is your Lord. He's the one who takes care of you. He's the one who watches you. He's the one who sees you when no one else does. He's the one whose like is actually important. You can get 3,000 likes on a tweet or a video, or 20,000 likes on a post, when Allah's like is the only one that you should really desire. When you could look for validation from all the people, and they may give it to you in some way. They might give it to you in some way. But really, the validation that we should be looking for comes from the one who described Himself as your Lord, Rabbikum. Subhanallah. But that's not it. Hasten to the forgiveness of your Lord, and you can think of all the mistakes you have made growing up and early on and yesterday, even today. So but there's more than that. Because He, after forgiving you and showing you mercy, وَجَنَّةُ عَرْضُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, that this Jannah is the size of the heavens and the earth. You know, if you had a big house, if you had a big 3,000 square foot house, some people like this, 10,000 square foot, 20,000 square foot, pools. So, wow, man. You know, rich people are on social media and they're saying to us things like, we're all in this together. Yet they're in quarantine, basically in resorts, what that they call mansions. Allah is saying to you, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ. And a Jannah that is as wide and as large, not 3,000 square feet or 20,000 square feet or 30,000 square feet or even a city block or even a country or an island. Allah is saying it is as wide as the heavens and the earth. Jannah, this Jannah that you are asked and encouraged to hasten towards, is a place that is unimaginable in terms of how it is and what it looks like. And we try to make these word pictures for us, and the Messenger of Allah ﷺ talked about Jannah to us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about Jannah to us, and this is the closest that we're going to get to a description of it until the time comes, inshallah, that you enter there. So I wanted to start, and this is going to be a two-part lecture on Friday. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this, but I really want to solidify this for us in these last 10 nights, in the last 10 days, to kind of try your best to just increase things. Let it be small. Let your own increasing be between you and Allah. But if you're doing something, try to do a little bit more of it. Let's say, for example, you're praying all 5 salat, but you don't pray your sunnah. All right, add one. If that's what you can do, add one. Add fajr. Add the sunnah for fajr. If that's what you can add. If you're praying all your sunnah and you're praying all your 5 daily prayers and all of your sunnah prayers, then add some nafil. Add maybe 2 rak'ah nafil somewhere. If you're generous, mashallah, and you're donating a lot and you're helping the people and this is what you're doing, then just add a little more. Be a little bit more generous. Just a little bit more on these 10 days. Right? If you're reading Quran and you're trying to memorize things and you read a page a day, these 10 days, read 2 pages. I mean, mashallah, you're not rushing anywhere now, right? You're not in the traffic right now. You're not trying to get to Tim Hortons or Dunkin's or wherever you're trying to get a donut or a bagel or a pastry of some sort. You're home. You're with your families. You're going out when you need to, and you're coming back, inshallah. So you have time. Try to increase it a little bit. Try to increase it. And this Jannah is special that I talked about, because it's not u'iddat lil muslimin. It's not necessarily for the Muslims, necessarily. But it is for al-muttaqeen, and Allahumma ja'alna minhum. This whole lecture series, from the beginning of it up until now, I've been talking about them. I've been talking about the muttaqeen. I've been talking about who they are. I've been talking about what they do. I've been talking about what's planned for them. And no matter what I talk about other than that, I always kind of take it back to this, because I really want us to be among them. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. And on Friday, I'm going to get into these ayat, and I'm going to talk about al-muttaqeen a little bit. But I wanted to just stop here a little bit and provide some time for questions, if that's at all possible. How much time do we have, Muhammad?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. Yes, so we have about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we can do some Q&A.
Okay, and, very good, alhamdulillah.
If some other points come into my head from that lecture, I'll definitely add them in. But I wanted to continue it Friday, and I really wanted to focus on who these people are that this Jannah is prepared for. And I don't have a whole lot of time right now, and to do them justice, I think Friday is going to be appropriate for that. But we could do 10 minutes Q&A, and we could do some other things as well for the last 10 minutes of the topic, inshallah.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, inshallah.
Is that okay?
Brothers, yeah, sure, brothers and sisters. So Sheikh will do part 2 of the lecture on Friday, 7:30, inshallah. So now we have a few moments for questions. You can type them into the chat for those of you who are on Zoom.
And sometimes we tend to forget that the Quran isn't just a book. Like, we have these kind of romanticized ideas that are, it's in our heads. You know what I mean? We know these things, and we read them constantly, and we recite them, and we listen to them on the internet. And of course, you guys are doing a nightly tilawah program. Is that right? You're still doing that every night?
Yes.
So that's going on. So we tend to sometimes listen to, and it's not bad, we listen to beautiful voices, reading the Quran and we listen to beautiful tajweed and beautiful qira'ah, and the softness of the voice or the tone makes us cry. And sometimes we tend to forget who the original speaker is when it comes to the Quran. Who is the original speaker? And of course, it's not the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the first one to get it from Jibreel, but he's not the first speaker. And the Quran is the speech of Allah. So sometimes we need to actually jar ourselves into remembering that this book is not just a book. It's not just a book full of cool suggestions and nice phrasing and beautiful words. It's a book revealed by the one who said, "Be," and we were, and we are. So this is something that really internally needs to be, I don't know if I like the word hammered, but it needs to definitely be put into our heads a bit more, because we get focused on rules and what should go where and who should wear what and who should do what and how it should be done, when it should be done, where it should be done, with whom it should be done. Thick opinions that could dazzle you, mashallah, for days, months, years. And these are good. It's good to know these things, and it's good to memorize these things, and it's good to learn these things. But please don't forget, when it comes to the Quran, who the original speaker was. Who the original speaker was. That this is Ar-Rahman Allama al-Quran. So that's part of this lecture too. When we're talking about these ayat, know that we're only transmitting them. We are not the ones speaking them. That this is spoken to us from above seven heavens, from above everything that we are right now. Allah has said these words to us and transmitted this incredible book as a rahmah for us. So when we're talking about these ayah, please try not to just take them as cool things to say, or nice advices, or really nice words, or a nice voice. All that may be true, alhamdulillah, but there's more to it than that, and that this is the speech that was revealed by the one who said, "Be," and we are.
Brothers and sisters,
I should have probably started with that.
Brothers and sisters, any questions? Okay, brothers and sisters, so if there's no questions or comments, then we'll let the Sheikh take this as a part 2, inshallah, for Friday to continue. So once again, Sheikh, we appreciate your time on behalf of the masjid and all the brothers and sisters. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us and giving us this important reminder, especially the last 10 days.
I appreciate y'all having me. I really am enjoying these.
Alhamdulillah.
I really am. I'm sad because I want to do more. I think we should do more until the masjid reopens, inshallah.
Inshallah, yes. We're going to continue using this technology, inshallah, to 100%. Have as many programs as we can, even after Ramadan, inshallah, and even when the masjid is open, we'll have these, inshallah.
Sure. We'll simulcast it from the masjid.
Yeah, we'll try our best, inshallah.
Well, any way that I can help, please just text me or email me or call me. I'm in, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan, Shaykh. And brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khairan for your time and attention. And once again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our fasting and ibadat. And then we keep in mind, inshallah, we have the tilawah program, as the Shaykh was saying. Sorry, let me just look at this one. Okay, wa iyyakum, brother. So I think you heard that, Sheikh. I think the comments are coming.
I did.
So alhamdulillah, jazakum khairan. And so we have the daily tilawah program, which is completely on YouTube, and also even before that, we have the live Maghrib Adhan, which is broadcast on YouTube and also outside on our speakers. So inshallah, and we have some lectures coming up on the weekend as well, but keep in mind those start at 7 o'clock. So jazakum khairan, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our fasting and ibadat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.